Hey everyone, I'm Chris and we're going to take a few minutes now to see what's going on with Next Gen. What's going on with Next Gen? Soon to be this gen. Well, here's what we know so far. The PlayStation 5 is launching on November 19th with Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and Xbox Series X and Series S is launching on November the 10th, featuring the likes of but seriously, the Xbox Series X and Series S is launching with possibly the best deal in gaming, certainly the best deal since Orange Box. We're of course talking about Game Pass, $15 a month for Bethesda games, EA Access, and a shit ton of first-party games like Sea of Thieves and Battletoads. And we're comparing that to Sony's new £70 sterling. By the way, £70 sterling equals $90 US, so we're talking $90 games like Demon's Souls, a game that came out in 2000 and ages ago. So that's basically what we're looking at here. We've got Game Pass on one hand, which is the future. I've been sort of on board this digital subscription service for a while. We're talking PlayStation Plus, when we would get free PlayStation 4, PS3 and Vita games every month. It was amazing, a great way to save money. Wait a little bit of time, things will pop on the digital service, and stuff's hitting Game Pass day one now as well, so it's super exciting. Plus, Microsoft don't even need to get you playing Game Pass on an Xbox. You can play Game Pass now on your phone, on your fridge. Okay, one of those isn't true, but it's very smart from Microsoft. They've always had a problem with first-party offerings, but with the acquisition of Bethesda and their very smart use of Game Pass, it's a very exciting time for Microsoft and Xbox owners right now. So like I said on the Sony side, we've got quite a strong launch lineup. However, they are all games that are coming out on the PS4. In terms of launch titles and lineup, this is the weirdest generation shift that I've ever been through. Now, I'm going to be picking up Spider-Man Miles Morales on day one, possibly Sackboy's Big Adventure now that Cyberpunk's been delayed until December. But when it comes to the Xbox Series X, I can't even think of a launch title that I'm interested in picking up. Tetris Effect is the only one that jumps out to me, and I've got it already on the PS4. So have the days of a new killer app on launch day gone? Potentially, and we also can't factor out COVID here. It's been a very strange year. There's been a lot of delays with very, very good reason. But it is very weird to think that on day one on my Series X, all I'm going to be doing is playing an upscaled version of Shenmue 2 for my Xbox One. Weird. That brings us onto the subject of backwards compatibility. Now, these new consoles at launch seem to be focusing on, more than anything else, backwards compatibility. Now, I'm a huge fan of backwards compatibility. I think it's very, very important to preserve games so they don't fall into the ether and you can't ever play them again, you know, like a snatcher. Plus, users can discover a game that they might have missed on the last generation. It happened a lot with PS4. A lot of people haven't played Uncharted before. You release the Uncharted collection. People experience Drake's Adventure in an upscaled fashion, their minds get blown. Now, I keep all my old consoles, but a lot of people don't. So for those people, the fact that you can play games from Xbox, the original, all the way up to new games released now on one console is really, really cool and a really big deal. When it comes to PS5, there's no word at the moment on PS1, 2 or 3 games. I mean, of course we'll get digital re-releases, but the good news is that on day one you're going to have over 4,000 games to play on your PS5 that were PS4 titles. There's only like 10 that don't work. Poor Shadow Complex. So I love backwards compatibility, but I love it alongside all the new exciting things that are going to be pushing us forward. And like I said, you have to take COVID into account with this launch, but it's focusing predominantly on all that has come before it. I will say that the PS5 comes packed in with Astro's Playroom, which has been called by Polygon as the best pack-in title since Wii Sports. So there's a new exciting experience I'm going to be playing there, along with a kind of new experience with Miles Morales. But in terms of my Series X, I don't know what new games I'm going to be playing day one. Probably none, and that's weird. So there's been a lot of mixed messaging as well. Jim Ryan saying PS5 games will be PS5 games, yet they're all coming to PS4, we found out later. Then there was the whole pre-order debacle, where it wasn't clear when they were going to be released, and some retailers were playing by their own rules, like Walmart, and said, hey guys, we're releasing it now, get on this. And both consoles have had a very Glastonbury 2004 ticket pre-ordering process, websites breaking, tears being shed, pre-orders missed out on. So it seems as if a lot of games aren't ready for launch. Like I said, it's been a really weird year. Cyberpunk has just been delayed again, but relax. Delays are okay, games need to be finished, polished, and ideally in a way that doesn't involve crazy crunch hours for the people working on them. So could these consoles have been delayed? For me, I wouldn't have minded that, but obviously in the real world where people have to make money and bonuses for Christmas, they weren't ever going to be delayed. We're getting the new consoles They don't have a strong launch lineup of games. Stuff like Ratchet will be coming down the line soon, and I'm very excited about that. Ratchet showing exactly why we're getting these SSDs, showing off the power of zero loading times, and let's be honest, that's the big jump going into the next gen. We're way past huge leaps in graphical uptake. Console upgrades have become incremental steps, especially with these mid-console generation upgrades. It's now feeling like less of a leap and more of a slow evolution. But in terms of SSDs showing the power and speed of these consoles, I think that's going to be evident day one. I, for one, am excited to have a UI that doesn't stall and freeze all the time. The future is here. We have to touch on this really confusing, poor Xbox branding though. I thought the Xbox One was a terrible name from day one. It creates confusion between the original Xbox and the Xbox One when you're talking about titles still, so that's something that never went away. And now that you've got titles on backwards compatibility, you're going to be like, hey, play this on Xbox One. Which Xbox One? The old Xbox One or the new Xbox One? Ah! But then with their mid-generation upgrades, you've got the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, and now you've got the Series X and the Series S, and on pre-order day, a load of people bought Xbox One X's because they didn't know the difference. You don't need to say anything after that. It's confusing branding. It's new 3DS bad. It's Wii U bad. Okay, maybe it's not Wii U bad. So yeah, a very interesting, dare I say, unprecedented console launch that's just on the horizon. It has been a crazy year, and it is going to be very exciting to end it with a bit of good news and a few new consoles. Games will get delayed. Please don't freak out. I personally don't pay attention to release dates much anymore because they always change. I think publishers should announce release dates as late as possible due to all the delays that then get announced. Here's an idea. If you have to delay a game and you're not certain whether you're even going to make that new release date, put it back further than you need to. Then if you're done earlier than that, hey, announce that it's coming out earlier than thought. Brilliant. Wait a minute. Early Sega Saturn release. Disregard. Very excited to get my hands on these new consoles. Obviously, it's going to be a great end to a bad year. Thanks everybody. I've been Chris. See you on the next Shadow Drop.